Lovely, lovely, wonderful people. A pleasant evening to everybody. So beautiful people. Yes, I watched most of the Prime Minister's inauguration. What a feat. I did a vlog on same. What a feat. When I listened to the Governor General saying the first time in history that the Jamaica Labour Party has, had three consecutive wins. He was prime minister four times, but three consecutive wins. It speaks volume. And I heard his supporters in the background. I mean, they were cheering him on. They were cheering him on. They were cheering him on. They really gave him the strength, as we would say here in Jamaica. And congratulations are certainly in order. And I guess many people are not surprised. They knew that the weighing in the balance, that it could swing either way. But I think most people perhaps suspected that it would have gone right back to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, or Dr. The Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. I was talking with some people though, and they were sharing their concerns. I was listening to the Prime Minister, kind of reiterating the achievements. He gave kind of a dichotomous view. Like some people say, why, Prime Minister, you have accomplished so much. You have gone above and beyond. Why not hand over the baton? But there are some who says, boy, there is still much to do. And as a popular preacher, Mr. Osteen would say, Joel, you have the best, then the next best, then the next best. And I agree. And the Prime Minister is young. He's a young man. Why would he need to hand over the baton? Let us say he goes in, he can go up to even a fifth time. Let us say, he has good health and strength, and he would, the fifth time would take him maybe close to 70, I don't know. If he goes a fourth or 60s, I should say, rather. Yeah. Well, still, and then thereafter, yeah, can go. Because, nowadays, back in the day, 50 is like, you look like about 80, 90, 100, 200, 300. Today's 50, 60, and so is like the new 40. So it's not as though, it's not like yesteryears when technology and all wonderful things that you can do with yourself were not around. And I'm not talking BBLs. I'm just talking about just, basking in, and just, basking in the different things that you can do, to look a little bit more youthful. And you have to be stress free too, as much as you can. But, I was talking with some people, Prime Minister, and, we look at the different accomplishments, in terms of taking crime down, by almost 50%, the fiscal management, contributing to the public sector, doing different things, and anyone who says they have not seen changes, they're lying. There have been changes, there have been changes, and as I watched the Prime Minister just grow, you know, in terms of his leadership. One of the things that somebody or people were sharing with me, sir, is that, when you started in 2016, things were done. This is how they describe it on the macro level. So, like, you saw a lot of buildings going up, roads being fixed, and so on. In the second term, you still saw some of those same things, and then the crime started to go down slowly. Then you started to see some changes for the in the public sector workers' salaries and so on. But there is a missing piece of that puzzle. And I said, what is a missing piece of the puzzle? And they said, what is happening is that the average person is still not feeling the monies in their pockets. Yes. And I said, I see what you mean. And there is truth to that. So yes, you see all of these changes on a macro level. But on the micro level now, individually, and we're not talking every single person now, but we're talking on a general consensus, or on a general basis, individually, people were not feeling the change financially. And I said to myself, one of the ways, I understand that there has to be fiscal discipline. I'm not an economist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a guru on financial management. I'm trying my best to learn, because most people, unfortunately, were not taught how to manage money, and it has to be systematically taught. You don't just know. It's like learning literacy. You have to be taught. So people who mismanage money, it's because they were not taught. They were not doing it because they want to destroy their lives and the lives of others. It's because they didn't know better. So you become like a maniac where money is concerned. And so I understand that the country has to be properly manned, and it has to be looked upon generally from the macro level. But that instead of using the telescope all the time, that maybe we can just get some binoculars. We don't have to necessarily go that distance, that in this third term, that it can be looked upon in a more micro level, individual level. So for example, like with the public sector workers, give them the proper increase. Prime Minister not lying to you. You see the increment. The PC me call it. Boy, it not really a cut it, to be honest. Similar to what I know, it cannot be done for every single person. I had done a vlog where, people go back and look at people's resume, look at what they do, look at what they're presently earning. I mean, look at a number of things and double their salaries. Because, most people are not necessarily getting the $9 million a year. And the average MP they're getting far more than that, because they took up the increase 100%, 200%, and so on. And I'm saying, and I use the 9 million to say that there are people who, even if their salaries are to double, they still wouldn't reach 9 million. So if people's salaries can be doubled, that would be great. And obviously it's going to be streamlined. It's, when they talk about condition basis, on a conditional basis or whatever it is. So I know a number of things go back. There are too many underemployed people. Too many people are underemployed. I remember when somebody was telling me of somebody who has a PhD and on the phone at a call center. It's like they're a clerk on the phone. I'm not sure how true it is. But these things are probably possible because there are many people with masters, and earning chicken feed. People also need to be promoted, and I'm talking in the public sector, the civil service. They need to be promoted. Jobs need to be created where they can be promoted, successfully and seamlessly, where they can contribute to the growth and to the development of the country, their small space, and then the country at large. So opportunities for promotion needs to be had more and more, not just concentrated. I'm happy for the officers, the police officers, who have been promoted. Congratulations. Some of them are well deserving, and I see the commissioner really lobbying for them and really looking out for them, but other public sector workers like civil servants, in the civil service, they really need some proper promotion, and their salaries need to be doubled. And that is a conversation that people are having. So I have to keep it real with you, Prime Minister. That in this particular tenure, that things are looked at on a micro level now. Because you would have done quite a bit. You remember, you have your manifesto and the book of achievement and so forth, with quite a number of things, quite a bit of things. I looked through quite a bit, and it's a lot. So on the micro level now, we want for this season, this time, this next 5 years, that individually people can say, boy, under the auspices of Prime Minister Andrew Holness, I felt money in my pocket. My pockets didn't have holes. They never short. I love my salary, or me at least like my salary. I like it. I can see my way to buy a decent home and a decent car and buy proper grocery, help out somebody, kind of a conversation. The salaries need to double, and people need to be promoted in the civil service. Jobs need to be created for them. And that's the argument that some people are having. So if you can look at things more from the micro level now, then you don't more than likely have to worry about a fourth and a fifth and so on term. So that is what we would want. Our salaries to really beef up, guys. You know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Please give me one of those lions. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.